Today I'm going to show you how I built this star out of pallet wood and a piece of barn tin I found out in the woods. Alright, the first thing we need to do is figure out how tall we want to make our star. I'm going to make my star 3 foot tall, so I'm going to cut this 1.5 feet. If you want to make a 4 foot star, you cut it 2 foot. Basically, whatever height you want it, you divide that by 2, and that's the length your board will be that you need to cut. Next thing you want to do is you mark your angles. On this end, I'm going to have a 36-degree angle. So I'll take my angle finder at 36 degrees and I mark it. On this end, we're going to do the same thing. These points are going to be on the same side, so we'll cut it this way, but it will be 72 degrees. So I'll find 72 on here. So if you're cutting this by hand, you'll mark it and you'll just cut it with the saw, just like that. I'm going to cut mine on a miter saw, so the degrees will be set a little bit different on the miter saw. Okay, on a miter saw, your 72-degree angle cut will end up being 18 degrees turned this way. And your 36-degree angle will turn to 54 on the miter saw. So you'll spin it over to 54, lock it down, you cut it. That's gonna be your 36, and that'll be your 72. That's what it looks like when you get done cutting them. Both points on the same side. Mine's 1.5 feet long. You'll need 10 of these for each star. I'm gonna use this one as a template to mark my other ones out, so I don't have to do any measuring. I'm gonna cut those and I'll get back with you. Alright, I got all 10 of my pieces cut. I had to move down here to the floor because my little table wasn't big enough. But the best thing to do is to stack these things all one way, and then every other one you set, you'll rotate and you'll stack them over and under each other. I'm setting mine on this poster board so I can draw a template for the piece of metal I'm going to put in the middle of this. The tricky part is just getting them all lined up, because these pallet boards aren't the same width as each other. I mean, if you just want it perfect, you might want to buy some boards from the store. This one, I'm just trying to do something with what I've got laying around. I've got them all put together enough. I'm going to trace this star out of the middle here, and I'm going to cut a piece of barn tin to go in the middle of it. Now that I got that traced out, I'm going to add 1.5 inches to the outside of the star and cut it out for a template. Now I'm going to lay my template out on my metal and trace it out. you can cut this out however you want. Grinder, snips, plasma cutter. I'm gonna try my snips at first. If I don't like that, I'll go plasma cutter on it. Well, there it is. I'm almost sure that cutting this dirty old metal isn't good on a set of snips, so try to use an older pair if you have them. Alright, I laid it all back out on the floor. Now the plan is to carefully take these top pieces off, put that metal in there, and put them back on. Wish me luck. Alright, now I'm going to screw it together. I'm going to put about 4 screws. I think 2 down here and 2 down here on each one. Should hold it together. Then we'll turn it over and see what it looks like. Left to do now is cut these pieces. I'm gonna put them in there like that. Man, in the perfect world, these would all be the same length, the same degrees as these, but this is not a perfect world. I'm gonna get them pretty close. I mean, I'm not going for perfection here. Something like that I think looks pretty good. It's about 8 inches here. I'm putting the same degrees on them, give or take a little bit, just to kind of make them fit tighter. And I'll get these cut and I'll show you what I got then. Alright, I got all 5 of these little pieces cut. Fortunately enough, all of them worked out with the same degree except for 2 of them. 2 of them are a little off, so I had to trim them up to make them work. And like I said, the width on these pallets aren't the same on every board, so some of them I had to trim up a little bit to make this fit. All I'm going to do is clamp this down. All I'm going to do is clamp this down, flip it over and screw it in from the back so you can't see the screws in the front. And I'm going to do that on all 5 of these. with you 2 mistakes I made. The first one was the screws I was using were too long. I had to go down to 1 1/4 inch screw. I had some 1 5/8 screws. They was actually screwing all the way through the front of it. The second mistake was where these ridges are they're spreading my boards apart. I can't screw them together tight. So what I'm doing is I'm taking just one board off at a time. That way I don't mess it up. And I'm taking a hammer and I'm just flattening this out just where the board sets, so it'll fit together a little tighter. Man, now that I got it all flattened out and screwed down tight, man, it looks good. Seems more rigid. I think what I'm gonna do is put one piece on the back. I'm gonna pick this for my top. And I'm just gonna put one piece here. I'm gonna leave the rest of them open. I don't think it'll look too bad like that, but I just want to put one piece here. I'm gonna get that cut and put it on there. And the only reason I put one there and not the rest of the place is that way we can put something across here to hang it with. Don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that yet. I may just put a screw or a nail sticking out and hang it right there like that. Alright, there's the finished product. I ended up lightly sanding it with some 120, and then I ended up putting 3 coats of this clear satin lacquer on it. Gives it just enough shine. I really like the way it turned out. I will say this is my first star, and I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. But made a few mistakes along the way, but we made it through it. It came out alright at the end. I hope you enjoyed the video, got some good ideas for yourself. And if you did like it, man, give me one of these things right here. I'd appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching.